Greetings one and all, it's I the Family Car Guy. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. It is the first time in forever, don't at me Disney, that I've made a video, but I wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's been going on in my world over the last several months. Everybody has had I'm sure, an interesting ride, as we all know 2022 have been for a multitude of reasons. You know, my story is no different. So I wanted to give you guys a quick update. Hope you guys are all doing well. Let's get into the video. So first, let's give you an update on me personally. Just life has been really busy, with family, with kids, with adjustments for COVID-related reasons, and just kind of learning about myself, you know, with the amount of time that we've had to kind of be home and have to make adjustments personally, work-wise, whatever the case may be, however you like to spend your time recreationally, just learn a lot. So that's number one. And number two, just been busy. Been a really busy time with kids and family and work and all the day-to-day life stuff that we all deal with. But things are going well. God is good. I'm blessed. My family is healthy. It's been great. So that being said, and I hope that's true for you guys as well. That being said, let's get into the car. So behind me, we've got the C4, and the C4 has been great. It's been a great ride. Had nothing but good times with it over the summer, the amount of time that I've been able to drive it. We did not go to the track with this car this year. We ended up taking the Z06, and I'll give you a little bit of updates on the Z06 shortly, but let's talk about the C4 for a few minutes here. So the C4, it currently is dealing with a few issues. The first issue is it's got a little bit of a, what I'm believing is an issue with the power steering. So at low speeds, the steering wheel is real tight. It's real hard to turn. It takes a lot of effort. So that indicates to me that there's probably an issue with the power steering, either with a hose or the pump itself. It is what it is. As you guys all know that own C4s, when these cars get older, they just tend to have things that just need to be replaced. They break down, whatever the case may be. So we need to deal with those things. So that's number one. The second thing is there is an issue with the water pump. Yes, the water pump. And if you guys, for those of you who aren't familiar with the C4, especially the later C4s, how they are configured, Chevrolet made a design decision. We don't know why. Maybe we do know why, but I personally don't know why. They made a design decision to put the water pump right above the distributor. And as a result, water can leak right onto the distributor and cause an electrical problem. Now, the OptiSpark distributor. That is not happening with my car, but the water pump is leaking, and I'll have some pictures in this video as well. But what you can see is that, so I'll just tell you the story. So the C4, I was driving it the other day. The weather was kind of warm here in Minnesota because traditionally it would be a lot colder, but due to, for whatever reason, global warming, whatever you want to call it, we're having a little bit warmer of a winter than we thought. So pulled it out for a couple of days. The power steering at that point I thought was kind of stable. I mean, I wasn't driving it a lot because I'm not driving a lot to begin with, but thought I'd just take its run to the bank. So I do that, and all of a sudden a bunch of smoke is blowing up underneath the car and up underneath the hood. I immediately pull over, pop the hood, all the smoke comes out. Turns out it was a heater hose that had blown up. And so that was a relatively straightforward fix, but I took it to the shop, had it towed, you know, make sure that everything was okay. There's a big trail of coolant everywhere. They got that taken care of. They got that part fixed, but they were still smelling coolant. And then sure enough, they just let it run, and they noticed that the water pump was leaking right onto the belt. So it was missing the OptiSpark, but it was still landing on the belt. And over time, you could see it dripping underneath the car. So unfortunately, that is going to have to be dealt with in the spring. Water pumps, you can get like a GM, like an AC Delco OEM replacement for about 120 to 150 bucks. And then obviously you got to pay for the labor. I'm not super handy. Chris Vicks actually put out a video many years ago, 2010 I think was what I found, of him replacing his water pump on his C4 Corvette that he had at the time. I'm not that handy, and I don't want to make a mistake and have, something leak on me. So I'll probably end up taking mine to the shop. But I am planning on doing that as well. And then I'm also thinking of some ideas for a build. It's not going to be probably as intense as the Z06 build, but we will do some kind of a build because we do want the C4 to be competitive. Those of you who have followed my channel for some time, you guys know that I do like to take my Corvettes to the track. And as a result, when you go to the track, you realize a couple of things. Number one, driver mod is the most important mod. And number two, you also know that the car's weaknesses are exposed very quickly. And so the C4, for what it is, I think is a really awesome car. But you just kind of want more on the track. And no, I'm not trying to make it as fast as the Z06, but just certain times where you really wish, coming out of corners and things like that, you had more power, you had more punch, things like that. And also some suspension mods, or continuing on with the suspension mods. I have still technically a stock suspension. I mean, even the parts that I replaced are technically what you could get in almost a factory setup if you were ordering new from the factory. So that being said, that's kind of the plan with the C4. Let's move on to the Z06. Guys, behind me, I do have the Z06. I apologize I don't know why the video has been so shaky, but anyway. The Z06 is behind me. She's all wrapped up, tied up for the winter. If we look closely here, we can see we've got the battery tender hooked up. So she is down for the count. So we just got to look at the nice Corvette logo and look at her under her blue wrap. So the Z06 had an awesome time this summer with it. I did take it to the track twice. The first time I took it to the track, I discovered a couple of things right away. Number one, street tires are great on the street, and this is not like a revelation. But eventually, when you get serious, if you plan on going to the road course multiple times, you do want to get dedicated track tires because they are going to be what holds you back a lot of the time. The second thing is my instructor told me, and he not only builds Corvettes and works on Corvettes, but he also races them and has owned quite a few over the years. He said, we definitely need to replace the bushings. There are no suspension mods done to the Z06, only engine mods. So that's what I learned right away. The second thing is you definitely are going to, whatever weaknesses are in your Corvette in terms of mechanically, you'll probably notice those as well. So one thing that I noticed, and I ultimately ended up having to fix it, and I'll probably tell that story in another video, is I noticed when I was at the track the first time in the Z, there was an issue with the alternator, and I didn't realize that it was the alternator until, unfortunately, it pretty much stranded me, or it came close to stranding me. Basically, I was getting on the track, a service charging system, service ABS, all these, my dash was lighting up like a Christmas tree. I would shut the car off, take it off the track, shut it off, let it sit, turn it back on. And after 3 or 4 laps in, it would do the same thing. And basically, ultimately what I ended up discovering was that was my, the computer basically shutting down different functions so that the car would still be able to run. The alternator was basically going out. So we got that fixed. None of those issues occurred again. I took it back to the track the second time, had a great time, and the car performed flawlessly. Again, definitely need to look at a racing tire type setup, but very happy with the performance on the track. And I'll make a video separately on kind of my experience at the track, and I'll get into that more with you guys. But just wanted to give you guys a quick update. Thanks so much for hanging with me. One more announcement I want to make is I am going to make some changes to the channel. This is always going to be a Corvette channel, but we are going to try to incorporate a little bit different content and some other things, because one thing that's important to me, and one thing that that this year especially has taught me, is people are so important. And you can do a lot of things, and you can buy a lot of stuff and achieve a lot of goals in your life, personally, professionally, but people are the greatest gift and the greatest prize, the greatest reward. Relationships and richness of relationships is the reward. So I want to really start highlighting kind of some of the things that you guys are doing, and really kind of learn about what things are working for you guys, and really make this more of a community type channel. So with that being said, look out for more information on that in the coming weeks, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Be blessed. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.